Hey everybody. Thanks for tuning into our live stream. This is Justin with zZounds, and we are here for another edition of zZounds Live. We have actually a pretty cool special new live stream for today. This one is going to be more of a technical live stream, and it's going to involve reamping. So reamping, in my experience, is either something that people know or they don't. And so we figured we'd do this walkthrough of what it is, how you can set it up for your own reamping, whether that be at home or in the studio, and we'll just walk you through all the steps and yeah, have fun along the way. I'm gonna record some live samples as well later, so you guys can also just see how the process works. But let's just dive in then. So, what is reamping? That's probably a term that you've heard before at some point, but the essential essence of what reamping is taking already recorded sounds that you have, sending them out of your interface, and then sending them back out to be re-recorded again through maybe a different amplifier setup, maybe through different effect pedals, or combinations of all the above. So what it allows you to do is take a session that maybe you've done, and let's say you don't like the guitar tone on it. Maybe you decided after the recording ended, oh, you know what? The sound of that wasn't to my liking. I want to change this. If you reamped and pre-prepped for your reamping properly, then you can actually resend those tracks out into a completely different amp, maybe a completely different microphone that you can use to record it. Tons of possibilities. So it's an incredibly versatile tool for any kind of mixing or recording engineer. So let's talk about what I got in front of me here. As you can see, we got a pretty meaty setup here. But when we kind of boil down what it is, it's not too terribly complicated. So for starters, what you're going to need if you're going to reamp is a DI box. And for those of you who don't know what a DI box is, that's this over here. I'm using the Radial JDI. So this is just a mono passive direct box. But what this is going to do is it's going to convert my instrument level signals. So that's a signal that's going to be, for instance, taken from this electric guitar over here. It takes an instrument level signal, and that's going to convert that into a balanced mic level signal there. So basically what that allows you to do then is feed it right into your interface, and I have a clean DI or direct signal. That's going to be the heart of our reamping setup. The reason why is that it won't have any coloration. It's just going to be a transparent, clean sound. It's not going to be colored by an amplifier or its speakers, etc. It'll just be a transparent sound. So for anybody who wants to do reamping out there, you must have a DI box for starters if you want to do it the official way. So that's what I've got right here. So that's just feeding into my first input on this beautiful PreSonus Quantum 2626. That's what I'll be using for reamping today. Now, let's go to the main piece over here. This is the actual reamp box. So this is the JCR Studio reamper, also from Radial. And what this is the actual unit that will be helping me send my tracks out of the computer to be re-recorded again. So it almost acts like a reverse direct box. It's going to take the signal from my interface and feed through line level signal, which is a slightly different type of signal than, for instance, instruments or mic levels. Operates hotter there. So the line level signal is going to get fed here, and then the output of this is going to be converted back into instrument level again, where it started at. So what that allows me to do then is, now that this is instrument level, I can feed it back into a guitar amp, for instance. Since if you think about it that way, it's just the same as plugging a guitar into the amp again. So without getting too deep into that early technical specs of it, that's what a reamp box is going to do. Take a line level signal, convert it back to instrument level, and then I can feed that back into this amplifier, which I got over here on my right, if you guys can see. And yeah, that's going to be my giant loop right here. So if you guys hear the sounds in this demo, it's coming straight from the computer through all of these pedals here and these boxes and heading into this amp over there. So pretty simple. Hello, Katya. Thanks for tuning into the stream. So over here we got the amplifier that I'm using. This is the Blackstar St. James. It's the 606 version and the 50 watt. So yeah, let's go to my session here in Logic. I've got my Logic session pulled up. So now that you guys kind of know what reamping is, let's look at how to do it in your DAW, because you're going to have to do a couple different ways of routing and specific ins and outs and how to send your signal properly to do that. But if you follow along, it should be pretty easy. So I got my session pulled up here. This is my first track that I pre-recorded. It was a session that one of my groups had played. And this is my DI track that I took from it. So if you notice, I'm just going to have this looped here so we can just have fun experimenting with it. But here's my initial DI track. So totally dry. Now we have to figure out how to get that to my reamp box right here. So what I did is I plugged the ins and outs right here, this input of my reamp box from the line out on my interface. In this case, I chose output 4 of the interface. So if you go over here to your channel strip, usually this would be set to stereo output and send it to your normal routing. But if you go over here and choose actual output mono and then output 4, now I'm sending this DI track out of the interface into the reamp box. So rest of the chain, to kind of show you guys the rest of it, the rest of the chain is this connecting into these pedals. So now the signal is getting fed to the pedals, and the signal from there is fed to the amp. So we're good. Now, we need to have another track that we can have in the session ready, though, so if we wanted to record it again, we can record it to a different track in our DAW. So what I did is I created a second track, which is right here. So reamp track 1. It's just going to be associated with this DI track 1. So this is my second track. Now, because I don't need anything but the input source there, I had earlier already changed the input here to input 2. And only reason being is one simple thing. Because we have a microphone now on that amp, right? So we need to capture the sound from the amplifier with a microphone again. So I fed a cable from my microphone direct into input 2 of the interface now. So now that's it. That's how everything finally makes its way back into the computer again. So I choose input 2. So without getting too deep into the tech specs there, this is what you need to do to set up a quick reamp track. And it really is just those steps though. So most of the setup is routing. Once you're in though, you can just have fun recording and reamping. And so yeah, that's for the total newbie, that's what you need to do this from the ground up. So let's go to it. Let's arm our input 2 track. So that's again the microphone down here, this SM57 by the way. Let's now play this track, this DI track, and we're going to hear what it sounds like. So. All right, so yeah, you can hear it's going through the amplifier now. So we're picking up the pre-recorded signal. I have it set pretty dry. And you'll hear how it progresses here. So pretty cool. Now we can work with that. We can start making and adjusting settings. So for instance, what if I wanted to change the mic position? You could just keep the track looping right there and just adjust the microphone. So why don't we actually just do that really quick? So you can very clearly hear the tone pretty drastically changing when I'm moving the microphone around because we're going to get different sounds. So this is like the perfect reamping. The reamping experience, I should say, is perfect for people who like to tweak and really just kind of adjust to their heart's desire there. So put the microphone where you want it and then you're ready to go. So I loosely just placed it right there. Let's just see how it sounds like if I just send it into this amp and just re-record that signal. So the spot I was just at in my session, I'm just going to arm this track and record just a really quick sample so we can hear it. Oh, so that was a little snippet right there. Let's just kind of isolate this track and we'll hear what it sounds like. So you can hear there's a little bit of reverb from the amplifier. And, it gives it a little bit of character. It's running pretty dry right now, but if we go back and actually just kind of reference what this initial track sounds like, you can kind of hear the difference there. So. You see how that's kind of just really dry. That's the DI track, so it's just very clean, super dry, no reverb. That's our initial sound. So if I was going to be reamping and mixing, I could easily get this tone then that we just heard from the recording with just a really quick setup. And then you can tweak from there and adjust it to make it fit in your mix that you, in whatever way you'd like. So that's pretty great. But let's say you want to maybe do more than that. Now that you got the amp set up, well, why don't we actually mess with these pedals really quick? Because that reamping allows us to do that as well. So let's go back. And we'll probably just start at maybe... So let me go reset that back to get sent out to the amplifier. So output 4. So here we are again. So, and let's see what it sounds like. So, and let's turn on this Earthquaker Devices phaser. Let's see what this sounds like then. Hold on 1 second here, guys. All right, hold on, guys. We are experiencing a little bit of technical issues here with our stereo out. Hold on, let me see what's up. Very bizarre. Hold on, guys. Okay, for whatever reason, I just went back and forth and that worked again. So we're back in, guys. So let's go hear this phaser in action and we'll make this happen. So super cool. You could just easily add a phaser to the guitar track. So why don't I just try to record something then with that? So yeah, super easy. So when I'm at home and I'm messing around with stuff like this, it's just so great to just pop in a pedal on a track that I record and just easily just mess with it. So now we got phaser on this and an amplifier, so it sounds great. So it's about that simple, guys, and then you can again experiment and do whatever you'd like, whatever pedals you've got. So let's now do one more thing. Let's go to maybe the end of this sample that I have there. Let's start messing with the amplifier itself. Let's just gain up the amp and actually turn that into some distortion. That'll be kind of fun, so you guys can see how easy that is. But same rules apply. It's just going to be sending our signal out and just tweaking our amp and microphone. So let's just record and we'll see what we get. So there you go. So now we can just change the second channel on that St. James amplifier, and then now we have this. So we got our distortion and phaser there. So it's pretty cool. And all that started from just that very, very basic, very dry signal, and then we can do all that with it. So love it. So let's now switch over to a different sample, because some people, when they're using reamping, just think about this as a trick for maybe their instruments, guitars or basses. And while that is most commonly used that way, you could do it with a bunch of other stuff too. So I actually bounced out in a synthesizer track. It's kind of like a synth pad that I used for a zZounds demo maybe a year ago or so, and you can feed synthesizers then back through guitar pedals or even the amplifier here as well and get really cool results, because, you know, obviously that wouldn't be the first thought, is to send a synthesizer through a guitar amp, but you can get really great results with it. So let's just use the similar settings I had the first go round, and we'll send this synthesizer track now out and we'll see what we get. So again, I got to go to my track, my synth track in my session. We're going to go to output 4 again. And I'm going to disengage the output 4 on the last track. But output 4 is now active on the synth track. So I created another track next to that, just like we mentioned before. And now I'm going to use input 2, which is where the amp was feeding back in. And now we should have the synthesizer on a separate track ready to record. So let's just see what it sounds like. So that's cool. That's just the synth track now getting, which was recorded dry, fed through the amplifier. So let me record just a quick snippet of that, and you'll hear how it sounds. So there's my quick snippet. And once again, keep in mind, guys, I'm taking that stereo track and it's actually getting pushed down to mono. So you will lose a little bit in that respect, but you know, there's ways around that if you wanted to still do it this way. But let's go back to the initial track. Let's hear just that first dry track there. We'll hear how that sounds. So. So that was the synth, the way it was sent out, the way it was originally recorded. Here's it with the microphone on there. We'll hear the difference there. So yeah, you can get a bunch of different effects then. So again, microphone placement's important, what effects you're using, what amp and speaker it's going through. So you got a ton of experimentation. So this was not too shabby for me, just feeding it straight through there. So let's have some fun with it though. Let's feed that same track. Let's feed that synth track back through, and we'll just put that phaser on it again, maybe some overdrive. We'll see what we can get with this. So let's see. Oh, whoops. Actually, you know, I keep having this output track here. Hold on, let me get back to it. Strange. We had this same problem earlier, so for whatever reason, it's not letting me. So weird. I'm getting signal here. We're not getting it sent to the stereo out though, so give me 2 seconds, guys. We'll see what we can figure out. Very bizarre. Serge, you remember what I did last time to fix that? It was like one of those, we need to turn it off and back on again problems, but let me see. See, All right, everybody, that's the beauty of technology. You live saw me do the same thing 3 times, and now it works the 3rd time. So we got it working. Let's go feed it back into this phaser. We'll get a recording for you guys. So yeah, awesome. Love the sound of that. So if we solo that out, you can hear that. So really great. Yeah, love it. We can even do that same thing again if we wanted, and maybe add some distortion to it. Let's find out. Let's see how that sounds. So yeah, again, really fun. You know, you guys just seeing me kind of live experiment with this circuit. Super fuzzed out at first though, yeah. Right? So you can kind of hear how it goes, right? You know, this is the beauty of the experimentation with reamping. You can find all of these bizarre sounds with your synths, with pedals and other things like that. So I absolutely love that. That's the synth. I have a couple other tracks here though, guys. Let's have some more fun. But again, this is the cornerstone of reamping. We just have some fun. So let's go to our next track. This one is a percussion section. I thought you guys out there would kind of enjoy seeing some percussion that I had recorded. I believe it was 2 or 3 instruments on another session that I did a while back. And here's that normal track, the regular track. Let's hear it. So this is just background for a session I was recording for one of my groups. So let's go to the output. We'll again have to sum this down to mono, but we'll go output 4, sending it out to the amp now. And I got this other track set up. Like we did before, we're going to input 2 again on the interface. So yeah, let's just hear what it sounds like through the guitar amp. See what weird stuff we can get. Oops, same deal's happening, yeah. Guys. Too funny. Love it, guys, love it. All right, so this is going through my guitar amp now. So let's mess with the guitar amp and the microphone. We'll see what we can get it to sound like. I think that sounds pretty good right there. So quick tweaks of the amp, microphone. Let's do a quick recording. And there you go. So that's the percussion section through that. So pretty fun. And then, yeah, there you go. You can even feed the, you know, like I was saying, feed the phaser through it like we were just doing there and give a bunch of texture for it. So sounds great. Again, I've had a lot of luck and good experimentation with doing this for tracks that just don't sit in a session the right way. Like this, a percussion track. Maybe it's just not cutting through the mix enough, no matter how I'm EQing it. If you feed it through something like a guitar amp, you might be able to filter it and get kind of notched frequencies in weird ways that might actually give it some character. So you can experiment that way with it. But, I mean, guys, I mean, we could do this all day with different pedals and stuff. I just wanted to give you guys the quick rundown of it. So how about one more thing before we wrap up our Reamps Basics stream here? Let's have me grab this guitar here. And I'll just do like a really quick live just DI thing so you guys can just see how easy it is. So again, DI box over here. It's going to be our main piece of equipment we'll use for it. So let me go find a empty spot here in our session. Let's go down to this empty track. And I have input 1 engaged. So input 1 is where my DI box is going in. So now you can hear that dry signal and a dog barking too as well. So. But yeah, so clean signal is super dry. That's just our DI signal. So let's just do like maybe let's just do some chords. We'll just do get the drive going on this amplifier. So I'll record a couple chords here and we'll feed it into the dirty section of the amp. So here is our DI. Let's get this going. So just some random, really quick, short snippet there. You can see my DI. Now, let's feed it. Let's have fun with it. So we're going to feed that track out to the same thing we've been doing all day. So output 4, it's going to now get sent out of the interface. And now we are on a separate track. Input 2. Now it's getting sent through the DI box. So here we go. Oops. Same. Again, guys, this is the theme of today, the same issue. So hold on. Let me unarm and rearm this. We should work. Turn it off and turn it on again, everybody. The engineer's playbook right there. So, all right. So now we got that fed through. Literally, you guys just saw me do that in 2 minutes, and now we're already back to reamping. So let's go back to the amp. Let's play it. Get a loop file going here. Cool, guys. Sounds great. Got a lot of gain going through, but let me record this really fast. So there you have it, everybody. So let me just fire up that track we just recorded, and we'll hear how it sounds. So. So great, right? Like if you go back to that DI track, let's just hear that again, because so you guys can hear the difference. Nobody wants that electric guitar tone. Let's be real here. Nobody wants that. Total rock, everybody. Yeah. Now, you go back to this. And so yeah, guys, that's how easy it can be if you have your setup and you have a DI box and a reamp box. Just two inputs needed on your interface, one line out there, you're golden. You can do it this easily. I have spent tons of experimentation time over the years doing this very same thing and having so much fun with it. I love the thought of just being like, oh, I can use a different microphone on the same setup and get totally drastically different effects, or even blend them. What I've done before and been in love with was doing this setup with maybe an SM57, and then you could just toss another microphone on it as well and capture a recording with a different microphone, even into a different input simultaneously. And then, you know, there you go. You can, if you have another reamp box there, but then you can blend the two of them and get the same setup with two different microphones. So yeah, the possibilities are literally endless, and this is a very, very great tool. So for those of you out there who didn't know how to reamp, I hope this was helpful watching this. And again, if anybody has any last minute questions here before I sign off, just pop those in the chat. Otherwise, guys, I hope this was helpful and that you understand the ins and outs of reamping. And in the future, we're going to also be doing some more of these helpful technical streams there, so we can talk about studio techniques as well as gear like I usually do on the stream. But again, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. This is Justin with zZounds. See you later, everybody.